Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. I am back with another interesting topic in the Tosca automation playlist. So continuing with our topic on test automation obstacles with Tricentis Tosca, let's look at our next obstacle, which is called the drop-down table. Okay, so in this particular obstacle, we can see there is a table which has got some text in each row, and also there is a drop-down with certain values. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to click on the generate button, and then we need to select the right values and submit. Okay, we have to note that the drop down contains only one element matching the criteria. Okay, so if you have got something like select word that starts with letter M, then we need to select that particular word which starts with M, which is mobile here. Then it starts with S, and this one starts with X, this one starts with V, and this one starts with A. Okay, once we do that, we can click on submit and the obstacle will be completed. So this is a little bit tricky in the sense that you need to know that which letter is being searched for, and then you need to find out that particular letter and select it right in the drop down. Okay, so there are a couple of concepts which you need to be aware of in order to complete this particular obstacle. So let's see how we can do this in Tosca. So coming back to Tosca, let's go ahead and first scan this particular module. So here we basically need four different controls. First two is the generate and the submit buttons. And then we require the table, which is the combo box table. And we require one of the select drop downs. Now you will notice that as soon as I select it, Tosca will complain that the selected item is not unique. But I'm not going to make it unique right in this module. We'll handle it dynamically inside the test case. Okay, so do not worry about this particular select drop down right now. Just select all of these controls and then save this particular module and close it. Okay, so before designing the test case, now I'm going to first rename this particular module. Okay, once that's done, then we come back to our obstacles and then we create a new test case here. Okay, and then I'm going to add that module. But before that, let's have a look at this particular module because we need to make some changes. Okay, so the links are fine, or the buttons generate and submit are as expected. But here you will notice that when we scanned all the controls, which is the table and the drop down, they are not in line with how it looks on the page. Okay, so here you can see if you consider this as table, then the task is one column, the value is another column, and then we have got these cells. So this is the first cell which contains this particular text, and this is the second cell which contains the drop down, right? But this is not the way Tosca has scanned and saved this module, because the select drop down is outside the row or the column, right? Which is not ideal because we need to make this select drop down as an embedded control inside one of the cells. Okay. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this select drop down into the particular cell of that row inside the table. Okay. So I'm going to drag this and put it inside the cell so that with every row and with every cell, this select drop down will appear. And that is the way I can then automate this particular problem. Okay. So now we can go ahead and add this particular module into our test case. So I'm going to drag this and add it to the particular test case here. So now the first steps, it's, as I said, is very simple. We just need to click on these two links. So I'm going to put the X here, which will do the click operation. And then we will move on to the next bit, which is to adjust the table. Okay, so here what we need to do is we need to select some value in the drop down, but first we need to buffer this particular letter. Okay, So once we generate, this letter will change. So I need to buffer this and put it into a particular variable. Now, the normal buffer will not work in this case because we don't know what this letter is, right? And then we also don't know that this is the element which keeps on changing. So in this, we will try to use the dynamic XBuffer, okay? So that we can verify and we can also buffer this particular text at the same time, okay? So here, coming to row, okay, I know that it will be the second row because the first row is the row header, and we'll start with the second row here. Okay, so I'm going to specifically mention that it selects the second row for me. Okay, and then moving on, I want to select the first cell which contains the text. Okay, and here I'm going to use the XBuffer, but for that I need the partial text which remains constant. And then the dynamic part of it, I will buffer, which is this particular letter. Okay, so here I'm going to type this text, and then I'm going to use the buffer here, which is the dynamic buffer. So it is called the XB. And inside this, I'm going to write the buffer name, which will store it, which I'll call it letter. Okay. So the action mode will remain as verify here, but it will not only verify this text, it will also buffer this particular letter. Okay, so coming to the next cell, which contains the drop down. Okay, so I will select the next cell here. By default, it will change it to verify, but make sure you change it to select so that it selects the second cell, and then it goes into the drop down. Here I'm going to call the buffer which I have stored earlier. So I will call B of letter, and also we need to use some regular expression here so that the remaining part of the text can be selected automatically. Okay. So this is what we have to do for all the different rows. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4 more rows, and we need to perform the same operation again. Okay, so here again, this will be the third row, and then it will be the same. So we will do 1 and really copy this. Okay, and then in the second cell, we will select and we will enter the same buffer. Okay, so we can use the same buffer every time. It doesn't matter because it will overwrite the previous value. Okay, so you don't need to use new buffers all the time. But let's go ahead and also use the select. Okay, so let's try and actually try to copy this and see if we are able to paste it so that I don't need to rewrite this again and again. Okay, so this will do, and then I'm going to just do it 3 more times. Okay, and then I'm just going to change the row number here, and the remaining part of it will still remain the same. Okay, so we have got in total 5 rows, and that's what we have got in this particular application. Okay, so this should work, but let's go ahead and see whether it is working or not. So I'm going to mark it as completed, and I'm going to try and run this now. Okay, but first let me take this page to the initial page. Okay, and then I'm going to run this particular test case. Okay, so as you can see in the background, it has selected all the different letters which start with that particular character in the drop down, and it was able to complete this obstacle successfully. Okay, so this is how you can use the dynamic XBuffer to buffer some dynamic text from your application, and then you can use some regular expression to choose any particular text which is dynamic in nature from the drop down without even knowing what that particular element is inside the drop down. That's all for this particular video. If you have any questions, then please leave it in the comments. If you like this video, then please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.